Hey, everybody, welcome to Tattoo and Business. I am your host, Brian Merrill, and this is the life and business through the eyes of a Gen X male who happened to be in corporate sales for the last 20 years. And this is what I've learned in life, what I've seen, done, and witnessed. This is Memorial Day weekend, and today is actually Memorial Day that I'm recording this and doing this thing. And as most of you figured out, I really don't give a shit what time I jump on. Whenever I feel like going on, I go on. I try not to keep too much of a set schedule, but and I know that's not like what works in this industry and everything. But I just wanted to share with people kind of where uh, things are at with me and what I've witnessed and done, and talk about a topic today. So yesterday, or actually today, is my grandmother's 90th birthday. So happy birthday, Grandma June. Um, you know, been the world to me growing up. You were always there, and we had a lot of great talks yesterday. Talked about memories and things that we did growing up on the farm and everything. And today would also be my uncle Danny's birthday as well. And we decided to do it. We had it since he passed away 3 years ago. We have not did a family get together until yesterday. We decided to. It was being my grandmother's 90th birthday. We needed to start moving on, and I thank everybody who came out to that family wise and everything. It really meant a lot to my grandmother. I think it was a much needed healing process for the family to start to move forward and everything. Which I totally had such a fucking cheat day. I ate garbage like I like I haven't in a while. So today my son and I we walked 3.5 miles before Dad tapped out and said, you know what, it's a little hot. Dad wants to go home. But so on Memorial Day, a lot of people get this confused. Um, and a funny story this week was: does anyone remember like when you were growing up in school and they handed out poppies? And now they don't do that in school. And I just never even thought to ask my kids if they knew what was significant of. And it goes back to World War II, the poppy fields. So it really was something that kind of hit me. You know, things are getting, we're so hell bent on what's going on and all these hate crimes and bullshit like this that people are doing that's just disgusting. We're forgetting, you know, what some things that like traditions and things that what World War I, World War II stood for, and what Martin Luther King stood for, and what all these why we have these some of these holidays. And Memorial Day is not the day that you celebrate veterans. Memorial Day is the day that you celebrate those who paid the ultimate sacrifice and didn't make it home. Some people still get that confused because I've had people reach out to me and say, "Hey, thank you for your service." And I appreciate that, but today's not the day that you thank me. You thank the ones that I lost, my brothers in arms. And you know, I guess we take some things for granted, but like when I was talking with my mom and we were talking about the poppies fields and how they used to hand out the poppy seed, like we totally have lost that in in society. Like I don't know if nowadays generation knows what that means. And I gotta be honest, I had to pause and think about it for a second because I remember it was second nature when we were in school, but you forget about these things. So it kind of led me to a conversation I had with my son today, and I've had a couple times with him. And then yesterday, I actually had my uncle Bill tell me, he goes, "Jesus, you ought to be doing it, Brian. You need to be on the radio." And I'm like, "Well, podcast is kind of radio, Uncle Bill." He goes, "I know," but he's always encouraged me to do this, and maybe it's time I change the focus of the show so much. Like focus not necessarily on just business talk, but just in general things going on. But I'd be the first one to tell you guys, I don't watch the fucking news. I don't want to watch the news. I'm disgusted by what's going on. I have been since the elections, and I think and I don't want the negativity. I'm trying to redo my life and rebrand myself and refocus on moving forward and being positive, like getting rid of all the negatives from the past, people that have done wrong by you or all this, and then not playing the victim bullshit and moving forward, right? That's what I've focused on. So today, when I'm talking with my son, I'm very proud of him. I talk about my daughter and how proud I am of her a lot. Um, and my son's always kind of taking that back seat. My son, when he graduated high school, is about 6'1". He was about 350, 360 pounds. And he graduated during COVID. And recently he just got into, working out with someone. He spent 30 days working out and he's down to 315 pounds. And that sounds like, he's still 3 but like, I'm just so proud of him. He's getting past his mental blocks and his physical blocks, and he's moving forward in life. So we were talking. I always joke with him. We said, okay, and it's kind of fortunate for him because, like, so he graduated during COVID. So these are the guys who literally went to school, got sent home in February for 2 weeks, and never fucking went back. That was his grade. They graduated. Like nobody knew how to deal with any of this stuff. So, they had their junior prom the year before, which he did not go, which, is, it was his choice. But I always told him, I said, don't be that guy. Don't be that person that peaks in high school. And he's always wondered, like, what do you mean? I said, you have that guy. I said, and they also talk about the fucking glory days and how they have this, this, and this, and all this stuff in high school. I said, well, don't be that guy. Focus. I said, you wait. I said, be the guy that at your 10-year reunion, everyone's going, holy shit, look at him in a positive way. They got their shit together. They're lost weight. When I graduated high school, I weighed 132, 34 pounds, someplace around there. Real skinny guy, dorky, awkward. I mean, I had great friends, you know what I mean? I hung around with good guys and we had fun, and I drank and partied and all that. So it's not like I was like, an outcast or anything. But what people didn't know is I struggled with self-body images, and I still do my whole life. Truth of the matter is, why I'm covered in tattoos because I hate my body. I hate the look of it. So I cover up, and that was self-imaging things. And when I was growing up, my father, when he was around when I was little, I guess he thought he was helping us, but like when you're getting called a weakling or a pune, I swear to God he made that word up. But we made up that he would call me, like my brother was a little heavy, so we'd call him chubby and fat boy and this and that, and then he'd do the opposite, call me a weakling and all these things, and it destroyed me. So when I went through school, and all of a sudden I peaked in 8th grade at growth, and then I never grew since. Like you get in that mindset, and like what people didn't realize is I hated myself, and I hated the way I looked, and I hated the way I felt every day. And I had a stepfather that wasn't the nicest to me. He was there for things for people to see, but again, negative, beating me down constantly and stuff. So when I got out of school, got into some trouble, had to make a decision in life, and this is the truth of it. I was one of those people that had to make a decision on what they wanted, what their next step was going to be to clean themselves up. So I went to the Army. During the Army, I gained 20, 25 pounds of muscle. And it was just because I couldn't stop laughing. So push-ups constantly, all that type of stuff. But still, 150 pounds is not a very big guy. So as time went on, obviously I, got fat and, whatever, and all this stuff and grew and stuff. But when we went back to our reunion, the first one, I didn't look the same way I did when I was in high school. And then the next reunion, same thing. And I have a shirt coming out. So I redid my logo for GY6. It's done. I'm pretty pleased with it. And I'm going to start launching my apparel line soon. And the first shirt, my son inspired. And so I go to the gym every day at 5 in the morning. I talk about this all the time. So by the way, when I tell everyone, hey, I start at 5 in the morning every day and all that, this is not a competition, not one. I'm just trying to get a point that, I have a routine and I start my day on this, and, I'm trying to live a certain life that I'm happy with. It makes me happy. And I take these steps to get there. So pretty much same group of people there at 5 in the morning. Working out. If I can't get to the gym, there's something else I'm doing at 5 in the morning. Something's come up or whatever. But I'm always working out at some point during the day or night. But so one of the shirts I'm coming is that I put on the back, the slogan on it was, I'm here for me, not just to be seen. And it's like, and if you're a gym rat and you kind of have grown up in that industry or that mentality, you know exactly what I mean. Like there's, I'm not gonna lie, there's a couple really hot women in the morning, but they're allowed to work out. They're not gawked at. They're not like we all just kind of everyone gives everybody their space and stuff, and it's a very respectable group. Now it's not always like that in the gym industry. You know what I mean when you're working out and stuff. But it's like at 5 in the morning group, like people don't get the fuck up at 5 in the morning to go work out at the gym to freaking to socialize. We get up at 5 in the morning to go to the gym because we have an agenda during the day. You know, like there's things we got to get accomplished, and this is part of that routine. So I'm on this subject with my son talking about how look, you got this opportunity. You know, you didn't don't be that guy who peaked in high school and that's the best years of their lives. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I do feel there's something wrong with that. If you look back at your adolescence and say, wow, that was the best years of my life and my life never got any better, then that's kind of sad, you know, because when you grow up and you get married, whether it works out or not, you still have found love, right? True love. And then you have kids. And if you can't be a parent to your kids and love your kids and that be better than what you did in high school, then there's something wrong with that, in my opinion. And I use this person, doesn't know I'm going to say this name. I don't want to embarrass him, but I found it very inspiring one day when I first started doing my podcasting, and I seen his name up there. That he was one of the ones that liked it and followed it, and he follows me and LinkedIn as well. And he is the epitome of a guy who could have peaked in high school and did not. So, and everyone who watches pretty much is from my hometown or whatever. But so Adam Gates, if you can think back to Adam Gates, man, here's this guy who was the fucking star quarterback from the time he was a freshman, okay, varsity quarterback, and great guy. Like, I don't know if he had a fucking enemy other than the other team who hates him. You know what I mean? I mean, baseball, basketball, great attitude, coach's dream, smart in school. This guy could have very easily peaked in high school, and he didn't. He went on to play college football for 4 years. He went in the military, got his education, has a great job, a beautiful family. Like, this guy is the epitome of a guy who could have peaked in high school and packed in, but didn't, and had the drive and kept going and all that. And every now and then we'll send a message or two to each other through LinkedIn or whatever for business wise and stuff. But here's this guy who really just never settled, man, and he kept going for what he wanted. And I told my son, I'm like, be Adam, be this guy, right? Don't be that guy who was the star fucking football player and now sits around and drinks a 24 pack of beer talking about all the glory days. You know what I mean? Don't be that guy that's sitting there at the bar waiting for everybody to come in from out of town on the holidays or whatever and buy them drinks and talk about the glory day. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy that's sitting around watching fucking sports talking about how he, you know, I could have done this or done that if it wasn't for this, that. No, man, here's reality. Nobody stops you from getting to the fucking pros but you. All right? Nobody does. So don't blame it on, well, I had kids or I did it. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy who peaked and is living in that glory year, that life, because then you want to start one-upping everybody. You get that mindset that all of a sudden, every time somebody else around you does something good, you need to one-up them or you need to sabotage them. And pretty soon, what you don't realize is you're sabotaging your own life. So when you peak and then you focus on that peak at that early age, and you become bitter, you become stagnant, and you start sabotaging your own life and people around you. And I keep telling my son, don't be that guy. Be that one who said, fuck this, I'm not going to settle. I'm going to go for something bigger and better. Okay, I made a hit some roads here that were a little rough or whatever, but, you know, we're going to get past this. Things may not be working out today, but they're going to tomorrow. And here's the steps I'm going to take to do it. I'm not going to wait for someone to fucking hand it to me. I'm going to work for it. And that's what I keep trying to drive. So my daughter has that mentality. My daughter is a fighter. by nature. She, after the divorce, she went through things she went through and changed her mindset, but she gets back to where she fights for what she wants. She knows what she wants. She fights herself tooth and nail, internally getting to that day, but she knows what she wants and she fights for it. My son, kind of not so much. Total different mentality until now. Now he's sitting there, we're talking today as we're walking, and he says, I said, so you mentioned last week that you wanted to go back to school. You want to go back to college? And he said, yeah. And he's not an elaborator when you talk to him. He pretty much speaks it and that's it. And I said, okay, well, what do you want to do? And he says, I'm going to go for criminal justice. So you want to be a cop or what are you doing? He says, I'm not exactly sure yet. And he says, Dad, I'm thinking about going in the military. And I said, okay. Well, you know how Dad feels about that. I said, I did my time. I respect that. What do you want to do? And he tells me he thinks he wants to be an MP. He's not positive. He just knows that he's right now he's a security guard, and he knows that that's not where he wants to spend the rest of his life. He likes it, but he wants something more, a little more drive, and I like that. And a lot of this has come from he met one of the guys at work, and he's got into working out with him. And this guy has changed his outlook. And he said to me, he goes, Dad, I know everything this guy is telling me. I've heard from you already. And most of the things that you talk about with me now, he says. And I said, yeah, but it's different when it doesn't come from Dad, right? I've been there. Trust me. When it came from my parents, I didn't want to hear it. And I told him, I said, I also would tell you this. The best thing I ever did was join the military. And I truly believe that. And I love this country. And I don't care. Like I always say this, guys, when we take our oath, we defend the office, not the person in the office. You're defending the office and the rights of everybody, and the fact that you do have the right to argue with me and not agree with me. That is why I went in. So that's what I believe in. And I said, I can't imagine what it's like for you guys at your age going through this versus me. When I went through it, the Gulf War had just ended. Like when I finished basic training, the Gulf War had ended. And it was an all-time patriotic high. And it just, we were still fighting ground war. I just went and see the movie Maverick. And there's a lot of it. I won't give anything away, but there's the whole premise is about the movie Maverick is true of what's going on in the military today. Guys like me, guys like the ones that I was in with, we're obsolete, man. They don't need ground troops. It's all obsolete right now, and that's a tough pill to swallow sometimes. But I told him I did my time, and if this is what he wants to do, then do it. And then I told him, and then he told me thought he was going to go in the Marines. I said, yeah, so did I. So then I realized that you got to be a pretty strong swimmer. There's a chance you're going to be in a boat and all this. And then I said, I know I'm going to recommend that for you, but that's your choice. I said, yeah, that was the deciding factor for me is I almost drowned when I was a kid, and I'm still terrified to this day of water. I panic at times, so I have to relax when I'm in deep water. But so that was why I didn't join the Marines and went in the Army instead. But so we're talking at 3.5 mile walk and talking and just listening to where he's coming from and he's a very opinionated person when it comes to politics. He's still up in arms over Trump not winning the election, and I appreciate that. But I tell him don't let it fester, and don't dwell on things. Right, move on in life, move forward, and he has definitely done so. So the big point about this is no matter where you are in life, don't be that person or encourage anyone to peak at anything. Even in my sales career, I peaked. And when I peaked in my sales career, afterwards, it went stagnant. And I had to redefine, reinvent, and remotivate and figure out what I was missing. Because, yes, it's about money, but it isn't always about money. There's more to it sometimes than that. And it just there's more to it. I'm at a point where I need to be a solution provider to people, and the money will come. And I always believe that I need to be a resource, something that they find that they need, that they feel that you're part of their team, that you're truly there because you give a shit about them and their business. And I've always had that Jerry Maguire mentality, right? So we could help 100 clients and make a shit ton of money, or why not focus on these 10, make the same amount of money, and truly be embedded and be everything we can possibly be to them. And that's where my mentality is. I don't want to appeal to the masses. I want to be a true solution provider to people, not just be. And there's nothing wrong with being known as the T-shirt guy or the hat guy or anything like that. There's nothing wrong with that. You fucking own it. That's what's going to pay your fucking bills at the end of the day. And I've done very well for myself doing that. But there's more to it than that. And that's the world I came from. And that's the world that I plan to get back to and own. And it all goes back to not peaking. So I say this. So if you peaked in life, and you're brutally honest with yourself. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna tell everyone the biggest fucking secret to success that there is out there that nobody talks about. And if they do, you're ignoring it and missing it. Okay? Don't fucking settle. Everybody sits there and they have it in their head and they're gonna settle. So the biggest secret to not settling, be brutally fucking honest with yourself. Quit sugarcoating shit. Quit making bullshit excuses. Be brutally fucking honest with yourself. Don't sit there and say, oh, well, so and so did this to me. And so, well, they didn't tell me. Well, fuck you. If you fucking don't have enough freaking dedication or give a shit to figure it out for yourself, to do some extra research, to take that extra mile, to go to do so, then it's on you. That's the difference between people who make it and people that fucking want to make it. Be brutally honest with yourself. When you're doing a training and you're going through it, don't fucking pretend like you know it all. You don't fucking know it all. And when you're thinking you're that smart ass in the room and you're smug and you fucking, oh yeah, I know how to do this and I do. You know what? You're the fucking guy that I bury every motherfucking day in my sales career to get to where I'm at. Because I look at guys like you and I fucking laugh and I see it as a challenge. And I'm brutally honest with myself where my shortcomings are, and I fix them and I work on them and I know where my strengths are and I exploit them. And that's why I fucking beat pieces of shit like you out there in the real world. There's this guy, I'm not going to say his name, but he's in our Success Champion Network. And I see his face pop up. And every time I've gone to a training, he like thinks he's tough shit or he knows all this shit. And I'm sitting there thinking, bitch, I'd fucking eat you alive. And like I just sit there and I hold back and I hold back. And there's a lot of people that when I'm talking to, I get that feeling that like this guy is full of shit and they don't know. Don't be that guy, right? Be brutally honest with yourself. I mean, if you think you're the top of the food chain, you're wrong. Real estate agents, they're the biggest pet peeves I have. Pull your fucking heads out of your ass. The world would exist without you. It'd probably be a better fucking place. I mean, this is an industry of people that have no technology skills, most of them, and sit there and just bitch and moan and whine and think that they're the only ones who can sell houses. Anybody can sell houses. Real estate kind of sells itself. Don't let anyone fucking fool you, okay? Be brutally honest and figure out what sets you apart from your competition. And now you got a fucking winning success story. That's what the point of this is. Don't peak. And if you're going to peak, start being brutally honest with yourself. Figure out how to fucking unpeak and find the next peak that's higher and keep striving and keep going for it. But if you can't be brutally honest with yourself, my son had to be brutally honest with himself. What he looked like, how he felt every day, and what he wanted in life to start this transformation. I had to do that several times in my life. And most people, if you're sitting back and you're content with your 9 to 5, and hey, you know what? That's fine, man. As long as you're putting food on the table and living a good life, then that's all you need. But, you know, again, brutally honest. That's the key to success. Be brutally honest with yourself. Figure out your flaws. Figure out your strength. Fix them. That's the key to success. So everyone can thank me for not charging them millions of dollars like the Grant Cardones of the world who take your fucking money and shove it up your ass when they're the ones making it, not you. Okay? Right there is the truth thing. You got to work your ass off, be brutally honest with yourself. And that's what it takes. So on that note, it went way longer than I thought. Everyone have a great Memorial Day. And again, this is Brian Merrill's Tattooed in Business. Have a great weekend, guys.